What is up, and welcome back to Talking Nutrition. Today we are back with another bonus episode. We're going to break down the 3 Q&A sessions we did during a mini challenge we did with our free community. If you are not a member yet, you can dive in. I'll drop the link in the show notes. It's a free Facebook group. We want to drop a bunch of stuff in there for your resources, mini trainings, a lot of cool stuff, and of course the challenges. You'll be the first to know if we are launching any events, webinars, and all that good stuff. So go ahead. In the show notes, you'll find that link to our Facebook group, a couple questions, no strings attached. It's really just extra help because, once again, we kind of know that nutrition gets a little overwhelming, and especially when it comes to training, there's so many different opinions, and there's mindset work, which is really the foundation, right? So we're going to dive in for the next 6 Thursdays in a row. We'll be breaking down the Q&As, starting with 2 episodes on nutrition, then 2 about training, and then 2 on all things mindset. Enjoy. Anne says, what's the best way to deal with people around me constantly complaining about their weight, fitness, etc.? There's always a but, and it's never their fault that nothing happens. They think that everything is easy and fun for me and don't see that it's often hard work and a lot of discipline to follow through with plans. It's a lot of, okay, I'm generalizing, right? But a lot of times it's other people's insecurities because like Anne, like is working out a lot, working on her fitness, like eating healthy, you're doing the challenge, those kind of things. Like you're obviously taking massive action for your health. And that makes many other people insecure because it says way more about them, you know what I mean? Because it's easier to complain about you than actually looking in the mirror and being like, hey, actually, no, Anne is actually doing all the things I should be doing, but I'm not doing it. So now I feel confronted. So I'm going to take it out on you. So that's one, like, first of all, actually acknowledging that, I think, is a big one. Like, understanding. So, of course, we always look at it from our side, which, of course, it sucks. It's annoying. Let's be honest. But flipping it and thinking, okay, like, in their shoes, in a way, it also is kind of sad if you think about it, because people can be at different stages of change where they obviously would benefit from certain health behaviors, but maybe they're not really ready yet. Maybe they don't even think they have a health problem yet, or maybe they do, but they're not really intending on making any changes anytime soon. It's a difficult one, honestly. It is, because it's frustrating for you. At the end of the day, the things that you do for your health, it's for you, no one else, you know what I mean? The healthy food that we eat, like my previous mentor, he always says, what you eat doesn't make them shit. But it's true. Like I always bring it up because it's funny as hell, but it's true. It's like, hey, I eat healthy because I want to, right? I do this because I want to improve my health. If you think about it, like that should be the only reason we ever need to give someone, right? As for complaining, it depends. If I think of like my friends and what they are like, and like let's say I would catch a complainer, there's definitely people where I would be very direct, and I would just be like, hey, let's fucking do something about it then. But that's only to a specific person where I would know I could do that. You know what I mean? Whether someone else maybe, hey, maybe they're just really they're kind of lost, So maybe we could be that inspiration for them and kind of trying to bring them into the journey in a way. But then again, like it's change that someone will only start to make change when they see that they want to. So it's a very difficult thing. Yeah, I feel you. It's never people's fault. It's always everything else. But going back to setting boundaries, like, is it worth hanging around certain people or just complaining? I'm just going to speak for myself, but for me, no. You know what I mean? We don't always have that choice, and it's a harsh decision sometimes. But it's like, hey, look, if we don't want to be around certain people, that is okay. I know this is super vague. I know this is probably not even like super actionable or anything, but I'm trying to think out loud here because it's such a, it depends one, and it depends on the person, and but maybe just having a conversation around it, like seeing where they're at, like trying to see, okay, so, I hear you're talking about this a lot, like, is this something you need help with? Or, if they still don't want to see it, it's like, okay, cool. At the end of the day, it's also not a problem, you know what I mean? So it kind of depends on the person. If we can support them and they want that, amazing. If not, that's also fine. If we can at least nudge them in the right direction, cool. We can share some things about our journey, but it's very easy for people to say that, oh yeah, for you, it's easy. No, it's not. It's really hard fucking work. so that eventually it becomes easy, right? Because people who do something which could look effortless it's just because they've done a lot of hard work before that. You know what I mean? So again, I hope that helps. I know it's super vague. It requires hard work. It requires a lot of discipline, and a lot of times it's other people's insecurities, yeah, that they would much rather put out on you, so that they don't have to confront themselves with it. And we can follow up on this. We can have a conversation with this too. Um, Elisa says, one day at a time seems to be a good way for me to cope with my everyday life. Yet planning is key, and I find this true also. What is a good way, in your opinion, to combine the two? I think we can plan for one day at a time. I think the more we can plan, the better. At the end of the day, plans will change. At the end of the day, we're going to have days where we don't follow the plan or follow the plan. We fall off. But taking it one day at a time, absolutely. But we can do that with a plan as well. Going back to what I was saying with Deborah, like planning should also include the things that can go wrong. Maybe even playing out different scenarios in our heads and not being surprised. Hey, if I always struggle with this and it happens again, okay, maybe it's not a surprise. What's maybe something we can think of, like, hey, let's play out all the different scenarios, like the good as well as the bad, right? What roadblocks can we potentially look or run into? And can we look into coming up with if-then plans or whatever it may be to work through it? Coping with everyday life, I feel you. I think we're all dealing with a lot of tasks, a lot of to-dos, a lot of responsibilities and stress and whatever it is. Sometimes we're fatigued. I think the more we can plan, the better. I think the more we can then also allow ourselves to take it one day at a time, giving ourselves that okay of like, hey, it doesn't have to be perfect, that's eventually going to allow you to have just more and more successful days. And then, of course, right, it will feel a lot better and easier too. But of course, right, it's still a very general question, so I can only give like a very general answer here. Veronica says, in the lifestyle change phase where I want to eat clean and exercise, I feel that I meet resistance and incomprehension from my parents, okay, at weekends, and with colleagues. How do I deal with the fact that they just don't understand the journey I'm on? My family with whom I live is fortunately on board with this. So first of all, that is good because your direct family is on board. Excuse me. That's the most important stuff. At least at home, like you're good. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, going back to, what you eat doesn't make them shit. Like colleagues, work, parents, people will not always see it. And on one hand, it's like, hey, okay, they should respect you for being on your journey and it doesn't fucking matter because again, what you eat doesn't affect them in any way. Your behaviors doesn't affect them in any way. On the other hand, we also, again, need to see the fact that just because we are on this health journey and we decide to go to the gym all of a sudden and we decide to eat healthier again, it doesn't automatically mean that people, first of all, know about it, will see it and understand it, and that they have the same values as us. Because again, I said this in the last Q&A. It's like, guys, like we're like the 1% of the world that's into fitness shit. You know what I mean? Like we're the weirdos here. It's like, it's not common to eat healthy and to be physically active and those kind of things. And people also don't like change. That's a big one too. I got a huge backlash from people when I quit smoking and drinking 12 years ago, At the time, that was just a health decision for me. Drinking wasn't even an issue. I was like, if I can smoke, quit smoking, I'll just quit drinking too. And it's been 12 years now. But like, especially then in the beginning, same kind of thing. People always messing with you, or, hey, have a drink and, have a cigarette, whatever it is, trying to, blow smoke in my face and stuff. It's really fucking hard to quit smoking too, by the way. But like, at the end of the day, a lot of people are going to, respond like that for some reason. It can be confronting for them. Like I said, I think everyone should respect each other for where they are at, whether you are the person on your health journey and they are not, or the other way around. Like both parties should be just okay with that. But yeah, that would be ideal world, perfect little world. I think a conversation is always great to have because also there, like, have we had that conversation? Have we brought this up or did we not bring it up? And I'm speaking from experience, right? But have we not brought it up? And now there's like this thing that's kind of, they notice it, but it wasn't really mentioned. And they're kind of acting weird about it, but we get frustrated, yet we don't say anything about it either. Like, is this maybe a good topic to just have a chat about and think, okay, hey, look, I'm doing this. This is why this is important for me. I'm making these changes because I don't feel good. I want to lose weight. I want to be healthy, whatever it may be, right? I want to be strong, and I want to feel better. I want to be stronger, whatever it may be. And it makes me happy because it really does, guys. Like working out, eating healthy, all that, it also works on your mental health, right? If we can have that honest, open, transparent conversation, a lot of times that's sufficient. Um, and then again, too, I'm someone who's gone through life caring way too much what other people would say or think, or, right now I couldn't care less. I don't give a fuck. But that's also in a way maybe because I used to care about it so much. And I don't know how I got to this point. But right now I really don't care. I used to be super insecure about posting content and those kind of things too, thinking, okay, what would other people think or say? And maybe I look awkward on camera, and it took me a long time to even be able to do this Q&As. Like at some point it just clicked, I guess, and it was like, well, I'm just gonna do me, and I don't really care what other people think or say. And I wish I could share how I did that because it's a big change for me personally. But if I think about it now, like I don't know. But I do have a hunch that is literally just from doing the thing regardless and setting a goal for yourself, knowing the things required to reach that goal and sticking with it no matter what. Good days, bad days, motivation, not feeling motivated at all, feeling great, feeling like crap, with support from people and without support from people, with positive comments, with negative comments, still doing the work anyway, especially when others are not watching. You know what I mean? And then showing yourself, hey, I have this goal. I take myself serious. Like I care about my own health long term. I'm still going to do it anyway. And I think with that comes a lot of self-belief, self-confidence. And then I think we will also stop caring about what other people will think or say. But it's first action, and then eventually we get there. So I hope that helps. At the end of the day, if it's at weekends, luckily it's not all the time, we can have the conversation and then just take it from there. Jeanette says, what's your best mindset trick? For what? Very, very general question. Difficult to answer. But I'm going to expand on it anyway. There's no tricks, first of all. No single trick. I would argue that the physiological sigh is a bit of a trick in a way, because it's something you can do within, like in less than a minute, that can actually put your body from a stress state into parasympathetic. So maybe that is considered like a trick, right? But it depends. For what? Mindset is so much. Are we insecure? Are we pissed off? Do we have anger issues? Do we have a temper? Are we sad? Do we have no confidence? Like what's the main thing we're trying to overcome here? You know what I mean? Generally speaking, meditation, journaling, I really believe in that stuff. I didn't in the beginning. I was very like, I wasn't open to it. That shit works though. Going on walks, probably my number one, even over the other two. Being out in nature. And most important, I think, is self-reflection in whatever way, shape, or form you do that. With self-reflection, owning up to your own mistakes, which is uncomfortable, right? Calling yourself out on your shit, because we all have our demons, right? We all have our moments. Don't want to get too deep here either, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like we all have things we struggle with, you know what I mean? And that's okay. But we need to be honest with ourselves and just address that as well. Because you know what, like most people these days, I mean, just in general, like I think that's how we are. We don't like confrontation as humans, right? We don't like confrontation. We don't like confrontation with other people, but we definitely don't like it with ourselves. And that is where we start to put things on other people. That is where we act like, right? We just push it away. But guess what? If we keep pushing it away, it's still going to be there. You know what I mean? So I like confrontation. And I think by exposing ourselves to whatever it is that we are dealing with, we can work through it. If you can do that by yourself, amazing. If you cannot, you can work with a therapist, even with a coach. You can read about psychology. There's so many things. CBT, very interesting topic also, right? There's so many things. And then last but not least, and I'm literally just going to share what for me has been the biggest thing, because again, it's a just general question, but I wanted to kind of, riff on this. Honestly, anything Ryan Holiday has written. Ego is the Enemy, one of the most impactful books I've read. I read The Daily Stoic every single day. That's a huge one. Stillness is the Key, massive. Obstacle is the Way. Some of you might already know these books, but honestly, like anything Ryan Holiday, like follow him on Instagram and You can even go to his website too. They have some courses. And by the way, there, you have different courses for different things. And I just mentioned, right? Hey, is it a temper thing? Is it confidence? Is it something else? For example, because I know I looked these up a few times, like on Ryan Holiday's on the Daily Stoic website, there's challenges. And I think one is it's called Tame Your Temper or something. And I think that's for dealing with anger issues. I don't know, but like you could look that up. And they have other ones, you know what I mean? So it's really just, okay, what is the thing that we want to get better at? But generally speaking, just follow like Ryan Holiday or the Daily Stoic on Instagram or YouTube. A lot of great stuff. Read all of his books. And for me personally, all of his resources, like that's the stuff that's helped me become a better person. We have just about 50 minutes left. And I wanted to kind of riff on just generally speaking, like the big picture here, right? Because where do we go from here? Mini challenge is great. It's a lot of fun. You guys have a lot of great questions. But 7 days is nothing. Changing your habits can take anywhere from so based on the research, right? So it's 66 days on average, but that's a average based on 18 up to like 258 or something it was. Anyway, it could take multiple months, right? So what will you do with the stuff that we've talked about today and the last couple of days? We talked about all things nutrition. We talked about building meals, and we talked about being active and mindset stuff. And I understand too, I don't want you guys to be overwhelmed either. I understand that it's a bunch of stuff. And I also want you to know that we can't always dial everything in at once, and that is okay. What are like a few things we need to do moving forward, right? For yourself. You could literally just keep doing the things we've done so far, being active, 10 minutes of stillness, right? Big ass salad every single day, and do that for the next 2-3 months even. You're probably gonna get a lot of good habits out of that, right? Could be drinking water, could be protein, could be, hey, I'm gonna get back into lifting weights. I'm gonna do some more cardio. I want to go into a muscle gain phase, and I'm gonna set the goal for myself to figure out how to do that. And if I can't figure it out, I'm gonna help, or sorry, ask for help, right? You could ask for help from your friends, from people at the gym, going back to being the average you surround yourself most with, right? Of the 5 people, I should say. Look for new people in your environment, right? That's why, as much as I haven't done CrossFit in a long time, like CrossFit is a really nice thing because you surround yourself automatically with a whole bunch of people who are doing the same thing. Oftentimes, there's going to be people there who will push you and inspire you because they're already here. So your goal, like, is their reality. Look for those kind of people in your life. You know what I mean? Surround yourself with, I don't know, like start following like great resources, listen to great podcasts. A really nice podcast is Not Another Mindset Show. Really good resource. I really like the Tailored Life podcast as well. My podcast, Talking Nutrition, of course. But like, surround yourself with like good people who want to help you. Surround yourself with good information, and reach out for help too if you need help with the things you want to achieve. But moving forward, I mean, it's going to be September in 2 days, which is nuts if you think about it. We have a couple months left in this year. Like, what are we going to do with it? What are we going to do with it? Because we often tell ourselves, hey, I have this big goal. I've always been struggling with it, but you know, for 10 years, I've been trying to reach this goal and never managed. Okay. If it's such an important, big goal, and being very real, right? If it's such a big, important goal, why the hell do we give up after 7 days or after 1 day of not feeling motivated? You know what I mean? Like, no, we got to figure shit out. And I know it's difficult. I'm not going to say it's easy, but like, get clear on what you want to get out of the rest of the year. Is it going to be dieting? Is it going to be muscle gain? Whatever it may be. Performance is just going to be eating for health, which is super underrated, by the way, because I don't see a lot of people even talk about that. Because yeah, we want to be at a healthy fat percentage and we want to build muscle, but what about just eating enough and eating the right foods and just eating micronutrient dense stuff? You know what I mean? Creating a healthy relationship with food, like whatever it is that you want to achieve, start working towards that. Maybe do more mindset work, right? Maybe address your things that you're struggling with, but try to think big picture here. And remember, very important, what I talked about in the training and activity Q&A, we also can't chase all these different goals at the same time either. This is where those different seasons come in. It's a very important thing to remember too. So now we have a few days left in this challenge. Today is Friday, you have Saturday, Sunday. like I said, I will do a final leaderboard update via email after Sunday, so it will be on Monday, of course. Tomorrow, I will go into the community again to drop another leaderboard update. Make sure to keep showing up, right? We have a few more days. We don't have any Q&As anymore, but, right, you can still ask questions, honestly. Like, if you have other stuff, feel free to post, like, I don't mind. You can send me a message, whether that's on Facebook or Instagram or in the app, because I sent some of you guys or most of you guys messages in the app. So if you go to the app, bottom right, you'll see more, and then you go to inbox and you'll probably see a message from me. But let's have a chat, I'm always here to help. I really hope to see all of you in the September challenge. Like I said, I will be reaching out individually to everyone who has been actually participating, right? So if you posted questions, if you did any of the check-ins, you'll get free access to the September challenge, which is going to be from the second week of September through the 4th. Yeah, 3 weeks. It is going to be a bit of a similar setup, but we're going to do Q&As as well, but once a week, so not every other day. We are going to be more focused on the step side of things. And we're going to do something slightly different in terms of how you can earn your bonus points. Now, the Q&A stuff, that's still going to be there, but we're going to do a few other things because, of course, I don't just want to do the exact same stuff that you've already done, right? We're going to have some different goals and stuff. So I hope to see you guys there. If there's anything, hit me up, Instagram, Facebook, here in the app, whatever it is. Everyone has access to the end of basically until Monday, probably until Monday. Check out the course, right? Go to the Foundations Crash Course if you haven't yet. Check out the bonus resources. And if you have any questions, just let me know. I want to thank Elisa and Anne for joining me. Good to see you. Have a great weekend. And then I'll talk to you all very soon. Thank you.